Hi guys, welcome to the another video of Excel tutorial. Today we are going to discuss how to do demand forecasting by using ARIMA model in Excel. In this dashboard, we can talk about which model we have used, what is the accuracy of the model, and multiple other values. We will be discussing that how we are achieving this forecast by identifying the value of D and by identifying the value of P and with the help of ACF and PACF analysis. Then estimating the value of the fitted forecast by the phi and theta coefficient values. And once the model fit, we will be extrapolating the values for generating the forecast. At the end of the sheet, you will be having all the values related to the model. And by using this equation, you will be getting the forecast with the upper and the lower band. Regarding the sheet, here we have tutorial notes, the data, and as you know, for ARIMA model, you need data to be stationary. So here we will be making data stationary by augmented Dicker-Fuller method. We will show you that how you can convert your non-stationary data to a stationary one. And then with the help of ACF and PACF analysis, we will be getting the value of P and Q. After all of this, we will be calculating the fitted model value and the fitted demand and compare it with the actual demand, and then try to calculate how much MAP our model is generating. If we are okay with it, then we will be extrapolating the values to create the next 12-month forecast. Let's start. So before starting, we should know that what is ARIMA. So ARIMA is auto-regressive integrated moving average. It's a model that forecasts a series from its own past value, which is auto-regression, its own past forecast error, and differencing it to remove trend, the I integration. So there are three orders. P is the number of autoregressive lag, D the number of differences to reach stationarity, Q the number of moving average error lags. We write it ARIMA PDQ. This workbook builds ARIMA 111 for on a 48-month demand series. So we will check each step by following each of the steps. So the first step is the data sheet. In this case, we are taking data of 48 months. By using the data of these 48 months, we will be generating the forecast. We purposefully take the non-stationary data so that we can convert it to the stationarity, which we will be discussing in next point. In the step 2, which is stationarity, ARIMA assumes a stationary series, constant mean and variance over time. So demand with a trend is not a stationary, so we must difference it first. Then how to do it? So a 12th month rolling mean that drifts upward signals a trend, and a roughly flat rolling mean or variance after differencing signals stationarity. So by using the augmented Dicker-Fuller test, we will try to achieve the stationarity on the data. Let us check how we can do that. So here we have all of our month and the demand from the data tab. Now to check whether the data is stationary or not, you need to take the difference from the previous value here like this, and then you are going to take the mean for the rolling 12 values. Here we are taking a mean of all of these, and same for the standard deviation. Now once you calculate all of these three data points, then you will be creating an equation in which you will be taking delta YT, which is nothing but difference of your demand with the previous month, and the same difference of your past month demand, which is this one, and what's the actual demand in your previous month. By using these three data points, we will be doing a regression for this by using these two as an input, and try to identify what is the coefficient for this model, what is the standard error, and then we are going to calculate the ADF statistic, which is nothing just a divide from coefficient to the standard error. So the threshold value as for the augmented Dicker-Fuller, if your value of M8, which is this one, is less than the critical value, which is minus 2.930, then you can say your data is stationary and it is ready to be used for the ARIMA model. In this case, which is not, so what we are going to do, we are going to take the one level difference. So what is one level differencing? It is nothing. Here you will be doing the same thing which you are doing your actual demand. So now you will be doing a difference for the first delta of it and write down all of them. Likewise, the same way, what is the delta of T minus 1 and what is the actual W value of T minus 1, if you consider this as a W series. Then again, by applying the same model, we get to know that the coefficient is minus 1.3 and standard error is 0.2. The ADF statistic is minus 6.1, and if you check it against the 5% critical value, then it is lower, which means the data is now being stationary. So for the further calculation, we are going to use this data for our analysis. So now in the P, D and Q, we have identified the value of D by checking the augmented Dicker-Fuller method. The value of D is 1. Now move to the value of P and Q, how we can achieve it. So go to the tutorial first. Step 3 is identification. Here we do two type of analysis. One is ACF, another one is PACF. So what is ACF? ACF is autocorrelation function, measure correlation between the series and its own lag. Actually, it check how correlated is the series with its lagged version. Now come to the PACF, which is the partial ACF. It strip out the intermediate lag. Again, it check that how correlated is the series with its lagged version when we strip out the influence of shorter lags. Here we are saying that if this slow decay is happening, it will suggest the AR terms, and if there is any sharp cut after some lags, then it suggests MA terms, which is the moving average terms. So what is the rule of thumb? In the PACF, if your leg P is getting a sharp cut, so that leg will be your P value, and that after leg Q, your moving average is having a sharp cut, then that number will be termed as the Q value. And if there is no sharp cut and both are decaying slowly for the initial terms, then you can say that it shows a smaller value of AR and PR terms, and we should do check by initiating our simulation from the smaller values, like in our case 111. So what is a sharp cut means? A sharp cut means the auto correlation drop to near zero after a certain lag. And what is a slow decay means? A slow decay means the auto correlation value gradually decrease over many lags instead of vanishing quickly. So how to calculate it? So again, moving on to the sheet, what we will do first we will write down our series, then we will write down all of the different lags for it. Lag or nothing, we just need to move these numbers one step ahead. So these are all of the lags. You need to calculate ACF for it. So for the ACF, as I told you, it is the correlation between the series of its own lag. So if you check, so here what we are doing, we are identifying the correlation within that series itself. If I go to the second one, it will take 2. If I go to the third one, it will take 3. And likewise, for the PACF, it will do the regression with the legs against it. So here for the first leg, we are doing with the leg 1. If I go to the leg 2, it will take 2 legs. If I go for the leg 3, it will take 3 legs. Likewise. So once we are going to calculate this ACF and PACF, we need to model it. So once we are going to model them, we will get to know that there is no sharp cut in the initial terms. Okay. So actually both of them are showing a slow decay. So what does it mean? It means that we need to model our ARIMA analysis as 1, 1 and 1. We have identified from the step 2, and P and Q we should be taking as 1, 1 because we cannot see a significant cutoff or a sharp cutoff in initial terms. Here the signify is saying that whenever we are changing the directions or there is a sharp cut, but there is no visible clarity where we are reaching towards 0 or the initial term at least. So this is how you can get the value of Q and P. Now move to the step 4, which is the estimation. So pure moving average terms need non-collinear optimization that Excel cannot do natively. So we use HANA resonant method which estimate ARIMA with 2 ordinary regression. The first stage is you need to fit a longer autoregressive model to the difference series to get estimate of the unobserved shock or the errors, which we term ET. Then in the stage 2, you regress the difference series on its own lag and the lagged estimate shock, the 2 coefficient phi for the autoregression, theta for moving average, fully linear, fully live in Excel. Now after doing the regression, you will get the value of phi and theta. Try to fit the model against your actuals and check what is the MAP you are getting or what is the root mean square value you are getting. Just to tell you, theta measures how much the current value depends on its past values, and theta talk about how much the current value depends on past forecast errors. So how to do that? Let's go to the estimation tab. So in the estimation tab, we have identified the value of P, Q and D as 1, 1, 1, and we are going to do the ARIMA estimation via HANA resonant model. So it has 2 stages. One is the stage 1, other second is the stage 2, which is the ARIMA model coefficient. In the stage 1, we are saying that we need to fit a longer autoregressive model to the difference series. So what does it mean? It means this is our interested series from the step 2 itself, and then we are going to create 4 legs of it, and we will try to fit a longer autoregressive model for the 4 legs. So how to do that? This is the formula for it here, which is the phi 1, which is the coefficient for the first leg, and the coefficient for second leg, and likewise, and plus ET, which is the intercept. So first of all, what we will do, by taking these into consideration, where this is the y and these red one are x, we will be calculating 4 coefficients and the intercept. Once you are done with this, by using this particular formula, you will be calculating the value of E, which is nothing but applying this formula only. Now once you calculate the E, you will be calculating the E minus 1. But why you want to do the E minus 1? Because the stage 2, the ARIMA model, you need to follow this equation. So data, you need the phi into delta y t minus 1 plus theta E t minus 1 plus ET. So this ET minus 1 is the value which we are calculating here by using this equation. So what is stage 2? So stage 2 is the regress the difference series on its own lag, AR, autoregressive term, and the lag estimate for the moving average term. So what actually it is? If I go to the estimation tab, so first of all, you have this delta y or the WT series which you have generated from the step 2. Now you will be calculating the W lag, which is the lag 1 for your delta y, and nothing but equal to this particular value, and then you will be calculating the error for that. which is nothing but whatever we have calculated here. Now, in order to identify the phi and the theta value, the auto regression one, you need to do the regression on its own leg, which is W lag 1 series, and for the theta, you need to do it on the E lag one, which is the error. So here you can see that phi one, which is auto regression, depends on the past values, which is this one, and theta one, it depends on the past error, which is this one, and the constant is the long run average level of the series. So again, we are also calculating the constant as well on our interested data set, which is this one. So now you have the value of phi, theta, and constant, and you have the value for E minus 1, which is this one. So now you can easily calculate the fitted W by using this particular formula, and this is the fitted W1 and this is the residue. So what residue is nothing, it is the difference between your original value of the series minus your fitted value of delta. So right now, as you know, we are only working with the delta Y, which is the delta series, correct? In order to get the original demand, we need to add this delta into the original demand. If you go and check that what is the original demand for the 2022-06, if you go here, which is around 8228, so you need to add 8228 plus 178, which will be around 8466. So this is the fitted demand which you are going to get by using the ARIMA 111 model, and this is your actual demand. So now you can check that by using this model of ARIMA, how much MAPE you are getting. And as per our model, we try to calculate the root mean square value and the MAPE, which is around 1.72%, which is very great, less than 5%, correct? So we can conclude that ARIMA 111 model is great for our analysis. Now, once you establish the ARIMA model and its fitted value, then you need to just calculate your forecast. So how to calculate it? First of all, you need to calculate the forecast delta for the next period. So for that, we need to use this formula, which is nothing, just using this equation where WT minus 1 we are getting from the estimation. This is the WT minus 1, and we have the value of phi and theta and ET minus 1 and C as well here only. So by using these values, we are able to get the forecast delta fitted, and then just need to add this particular number to the previous forecast. So if I go and check, the last forecast was 12,374 for the December 2025. Now for the January one, I just need to add 4 in it. Same way for the second one, we just need to add another delta, and we will get the forecasted demand for the coming months. For the lower and the upper band, we need to use this formula. For the 95% confidence interval, you need to use this formula where we are just checking that for this particular demand at a 95% level, what would be our lower threshold and what would be our upper thresholds, and what is our standard deviation. So if you see, we are saying that the uncertainty grows with horizon, and we widen the band as forecast plus minus z dot sigma dot under root h, where sigma is a residual standard deviation, z at 1.96 for 95%, and the chart shows the history, forecast, and shaded band. So by using this 95% for the upper and the lower, we can get this particular graph in which we can tell that this is the historical forecast and this is the future forecast, and this is the band in which it should lie as per the ARIMA model. So this is how you can calculate the forecasting by using the ARIMA model, and you can create this kind of dashboard where you can tell that what model you have taken, how much accuracy it is generating, what is the next month forecast, what is the 12-month forecast ahead, and what is the residue. So hope you like this video. If you want this Excel, I can attach it in the description at a very minimal price. You just need to add your data and it will auto calculate everything. Thanks for watching.